Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, January 12, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the point in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here at Weather Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the dance be like in your ear recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro model that came out at 3:30 p.m. today, as well as the latest GFS model that came out at 6 p.m. today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next 168 hours, which stands for the next 7 days. And look out for all of this that we see on the key on the right, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, into the greens that represents inches of rainfall. And focus your attention right here across Jamaica as we look for all of that moisture. Alright, so let's see. Heading into Monday, we can see that there's not much in the way of rainfall across there, and just some dots of greens, maybe some isolated showers here and there. Tuesday, definitely less rainfall than what's expected on a Monday. Wednesday, we see some greens, especially on the north coast right here. That looks to be 90 on Wednesday, which is actually 4 a.m. Very interesting. Either way, we see that the rest of the day on Wednesday is definitely dry. 0Z on Thursday is actually 7 p.m. On Wednesday, not much of anything. Heading into Thursday now, not much of anything either. Maybe some isolated showers across the northeast. Friday though, we see some rainfall across northeastern parishes for sure. And we see it throughout the day for a long period as well. And then we see that as we head into Saturday, not much of anything across the island, but we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So all we're seeing right here across Jamaica is white. It's not much of anything in terms of rainfall. We do see some rainfall over across the southwestern Caribbean, across the waters to the south of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, and we see a line of shower and thunderstorm activity stretching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way across the waters to the east of the US, all the way down into Florida, as well as the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Let us see what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest GFS model. Let's see if we have agreement. So heading into Monday, not much of anything according to the GFS. The Euro is definitely adamant that section of the island could receive some isolated showers though. Heading into Tuesday, not much of anything either, so it's similar to what the Euro was showing for Tuesday. Wednesday, something similar to Tuesday. And look at this, Thursday morning, we see some dots of greens across northeastern parishes, Portland, St. Mary maybe. Clearly we see that Friday has something similar to what the Euro was showing. We see some greens across the north too. And even into Saturday, we're not seeing much of anything, more whites than anything else. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So we see that across Jamaica, we have more whites than anything. And we don't see all of that moisture that the GFS has across eastern Jamaica on the Euro right here. We see most of the moisture across the waters to the south of us, so the southwestern Caribbean, including Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, all the way over to the south of the Dominican Republic, as well as affecting sections of Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands. And we can also make out the line of shower activity associated with the frontal system right there off the east coast of the US, just like what the Euro was showing, stretching all the way down into Florida and the eastern portion of the Gulf, maybe all the way down into the southwestern Gulf as well. You will see exactly what unfolds. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 168 hours, we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant that the most rainfall should be expected across sections of the Gulf of Mexico right here. Let's use black to shade it. So section of the Gulf of Mexico, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of northern on the western Venezuela, section of the ABC Islands, all the way over into the eastern Caribbean, including St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique, section of Dominica right here. That's where we see the brunt of the colors that represents the most in the way of rainfall. Clearly we see that the area near South America right here, Central America, southeastern portion of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama is going to be receiving the most rainfall, because we're seeing those dark reds that represents up to 2 inches of rainfall. The purples into the pinks represents 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, maybe even as far as the peach colors represent 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. Definitely some isolated flash flooding could take place in those spots. Either way, in terms of Jamaica's total accumulated precipitation, not much has changed over the next 7 days. The Euro model is still adamant that the most rainfall across Jamaica should be plaguing northern parishes. We're talking about anywhere from Hanover eastward, so St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And we see that the most in the way for rainfall is represented by the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges right here, going all the way up to 69 millimeters of rainfall, especially across Portland, according to this latest Euro model run. The latest GFS is a bit more reserved, showing that yes, we have the most rainfall over the next 7 days to be experienced across northern parishes, but clearly Portland is going to be getting the brunt of it, and we see that it's only going all the way up to those dark blues that represents anywhere from maybe 7 to 15 millimeters of rainfall. We'll see exactly what happens over the next 7 days, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted on our other social media platforms. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a ridge of high pressure across the US. We see that we have a frontal system stretching all the way from northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down to the south of Florida, right here into the Gulf of Mexico. We see that we have broken orange lines right here to the west of Jamaica associated with that trough. And we see another frontal system right here, reaching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down into portion of the eastern Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, the clouds associated with that frontal system, reaching all the way down to the south of Florida, right here into the Gulf of Mexico. We can also make out the clouds associated with the trough, now to the west of Jamaica for sure. Definitely brought some overcast skies and isolated shores section of the island today. And we can make out the clouds associated with that other frontal system, reaching all the way from northern portion of North Atlantic, all the way down into portion of the eastern Caribbean, right here. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, January 12, 2025. It was stated that rainfall was in the forecast for parts of some northern and eastern parishes during Sunday morning, also affecting sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes during Sunday afternoon. And for reference, northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as around 10:30 a.m., the Cuban Doppler radar imagery was posted, and it highlighted the greens that we know represents moderate, that's moderate rainfall across sections of the north. Those sections of maybe St. Anne, St. Mary, especially Portland, might have gotten on some light to moderate rainfall for sure during those times, just as predicted. Then during the afternoon, the visible satellite image was posted at around 3:36 p.m. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So the visible satellite images, well, the visible satellite imagery was posted during the afternoon and highlighted that we're indeed receiving some clouds, bringing some overcast skies and isolated showers sections of some eastern parishes, sections of some central parishes, as well as sections of some western parishes, for sure, just as predicted. Definitely had some isolated showers across section of the island for sure today, if not overcast skies. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sunlight went away, you can see what took place. More of an easterly flow with those low to mid-level clouds pushing from east to west all across the island. Definitely had some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers across sections of some of these parishes for sure. And the infrared close-up satellite images confirm that we weren't receiving much in the way of those cumulonimbus clouds at all. All we're seeing is those patches of low-level to mid-level clouds pushing from east to west across the island. And we indeed have some confirmation here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing the panoramic city view right here looking down across Kingston. We can see that it was cloudy at around 3:02 p.m. highlighting that we're receiving some amount of cloudy conditions right here across the island for sure. Not much in the way of sunshine at all. Don't see much in the way of rainfall either. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today, definitely across eastern, central, and section of some western parishes for sure. And we definitely have some confirmation here from some of our subscribers as well as some of our followers. We have Active 4081 stating we get it, confirming the rainfall that he indeed received across his parish. We also have on our Facebook page Verona Burke stating raining in Outages. This was posted 8 hours ago at 11:02 a.m. to be exact. And finally we have Esther Retse stating drizzling in St. Mary, and this was posted at around 3:50 p.m. Thank you all for confirming the rainfall in your area today. And if we take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website about the weather across Jamaica right now, we see that the latest image just came out at 0005 UTC, which is actually 7:05 p.m. and considering that it's 7:17 p.m. right now, this just came out 12 minutes ago, and we see that across the island we don't have much in the way of cloud cover or rainfall, just some patches of low level to mid level clouds right here across the western portion of the island in those grayish whitish colors. Taking a look at the very latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery. The latest Cuban Doppler radar image just came out at 7:10 p.m. and we can make out some rainfall across the western portion of the island right here. The grays represent moderate, that's some light to moderate rainfall for sure right here across section of Negril, section of Westmoreland as we speak. And if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar imagery, not seeing much of anything across eastern Cuba, western Haiti, or northeastern Jamaica. But if we take a look at the Cayman radar, I'm sure if we reload these images, we can make out some amount of isolated shores right here across the waters to the south of Grand Cayman. And I was hoping that we would have seen some of the greens representing rainfall across western Jamaica. Not seeing it at all. Wonder if this Doppler radar has glitched out at some point. Either way, that's what we're seeing right now. Taking a look at the halfway tree cam. It's what's happening across halfway tree right now. We can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in terms of bad weather taking place as we speak. Definitely fair conditions tonight for sure. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see we have 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors that we can see from the key on the right. That represents up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperature for the month of January across Jamaica is around 86.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's about 30.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30.2 to 32.2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. And unfortunately, my JPS Online is back at it again with the maintenance outage advisories. The first one here is for Languedoc Road and Bamboo Walk Retreat in St. Mary for Tuesday, January 14th. They should say 2025, not 2024, considering that this was posted today at 8:30 a.m. January 12, 2025. I'm guessing they made an error. It's understandable. But that's for 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well as in Petersfield at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you have friends or relatives who live or work in those areas, or if you live or work in those areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. We also have another maintenance outage advisory out for Cherry View Garden Close at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, January 14 as well. So not necessarily Monday, but definitely Tuesday for both maintenance outages. I know that when we have maintenance outages, we don't have electricity, and it definitely exacerbates the heat, making it feel even hotter than normal because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. Either way, if it's a bit too hot for you tomorrow, we have some tips right here to beat the heat. It states here, when outside, seek shade. Eat fresh. Try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak. Take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated. Drink lots of water. Put away those sugary drinks. Drink water instead all throughout the day for sure. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, oranges, reds, and whites within those reds. And we can see a lot of dry air stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. And we see that the most dry air is right here off the coast of Africa with those dark reds and whites within all of that. Definitely dry for the most part across the Atlantic. We know that when we have all of this dry air, it definitely makes it harder for there to be rainfall or moisture across the area. But we're indeed grateful that in terms of the Saharan dust forecast, we see right here that for Monday, January 13, 2025 at 8 a.m., majority of the Saharan dust, as represented by the brown colors, brown shades right here, should be across the main development region, while North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, South America, Central America, all of us are in the clear. And we're indeed grateful for that because you know that when we have the Saharan dust, it can definitely cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis, you name it. So we're glad that we don't have any Saharan dust to receive on Monday. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see more of those light shades of blues to darker shades of blues across the Caribbean. That represents anywhere from 0.5 of a meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And if we take a look right here, the water to the north of Jamaica, 1.2 meter wave height. Water to the south of Jamaica, 1.4 meter wave height. And that's because of the winds that are expected across the Caribbean. Across the northeastern Caribbean, we see more of a northeasterly flow, east-northeast, right here to the southwestern Caribbean, the south of Hispaniola and Jamaica, pushing in more from the east across Jamaica into the western and northwestern Caribbean, curving northward towards the northwest, curving north towards Florida right there, coming in from the north across the western Gulf. Very interesting. Either way, we see more of those dull greens into bright greens into slight yellows, representing from 5 to 10 to 15 all the way up to 20, maybe even gusting to 25 knots, especially across these areas to the south of Jamaica, Haiti, right here to the east of Mexico. And if we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica regarding these winds, we see more of an easterly flow for sure to the north of us, coming in from the east-northeast, the waters to the south of us. You can also see that the least amount of wind should be across southern parishes, so the heat could definitely be felt across southern Jamaica for sure. And if we get some daytime heating, could definitely, cause some amount of isolated showers across some southern parishes. But the lack of moisture in the atmosphere could definitely prohibit that. Either way, we see a kind of flow here from the northeast or from the north. So whatever comes off of the sea could definitely bring some isolated showers section of Portland, St. Mary, you name it. We'll see exactly what unfolds at that time. Either way, in terms of the upper level winds, we still have that upper level high pressure right here across the Greater Antilles in general. Not much in the way of a wind shear at all across our area. We're grateful for that. No high cold cloud tops, no serious clouds. Definitely gonna be some clear skies for sure. All right, so we have some differences, lots of differences on both the Euro and the GFS models for sure. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 9 a.m. on Monday. The Euro is showing some blues that represent rainfall across the north, anywhere from St. James Eastward, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Very interesting, but the GFS is not showing that at all. Yes, it's showing some dots of blues, but more out to sea to the north of Trelawney right there. Nothing on land like what the Euro is showing. We'll see if we actually get isolated showers across northern Jamaica at 9 a.m. And then by 3 p.m. we start to see some similarities. Clearly both the Euro and the GFS models aren't showing anything in terms of rainfall on Monday afternoon. Definitely clear conditions, so more than likely it's going to be sunny for the most part. And in terms of the accumulated precipitation for the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. We see some slight greens right here on the GFS across the east, across the west. The Euro showing the same thing, but even more robust across the east. We'll see exactly what unfolds at that time. We know that during the month of January, across Kingston, we usually receive up to 20 millimeters of rainfall. We're in the month, that's one of our dry seasons. Well, we're in one of our dry season months. So we know our dry season begins in December, ends in April. So we're still at the beginning of our dry season for sure. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 20 millimeters of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive up to 3 inches of rainfall. That's about 75 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of January or for the entire year, you can visit www.weather-and-climate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have that frontal system bringing some overcast skies and some isolated showers as we speak. The section of the Bahamas all the way over into section of northern and western Cuba. We see the trough right here to the east of the Yucatan Peninsula and Belize. We can also see some isolated showers across sections of Venezuela for sure. Even sections of the eastern Caribbean getting on some isolated showers as we speak. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, don't see much happening over there at all. We do see some isolated showers over to the east of Dominica, and if we load these images from earlier today, we don't see much of anything across the Leeward Islands at all. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we don't see much happening across Barbados right now, neither St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Trinidad and Tobago. But we do see some isolated showers passing to the east and to the south of Grenada right now, pushing from northeast to southwest. We also see some rainfall coming in from the east northeast, pushing towards Martinique and maybe even section of St. Lucia tonight into tomorrow. Taking a look at what we have Doppler radar images, we don't see much of anything across Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Florida, the Bahamas, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Nicaragua, Colombia, the ABC Islands at all as we speak. But regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, clearly we're not seeing some significant rainfall at all. All we're seeing is those light shades of greens to dark shades of greens into some slight yellows. That represents anywhere from 0.1 of an inch all the way up to maybe 0.3 or 0.5 of an inch of rainfall. But clearly, in terms of the agreement on both the Euro and the GFS modes, the rainfall should be plaguing Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, maybe sections of eastern, southern, and western Venezuela, Guyana as well. We can also see maybe section of western Colombia, northern Panama, maybe sections of eastern Nicaragua, section of eastern Honduras, section of the Yucatan Peninsula, and that is basically it. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.